I used to be an ordinary guy, working a regular job. But one day, I went on a cave exploration trip with a friend and faced something I still can't explain. Honestly, I should have never gone there. My name is Evan, and this is a journal I've kept ever since that day. My friend Matt is really into exploring. We both grew up near a small town in Kentucky, and even as kids, we loved crawling through abandoned tunnels and drainage pipes. That day, Matt showed me a post he had saved from an old hiking forum. It described a hidden and mysterious cave known only as the Nameless Crack. Matt's curiosity stirred something in me too, something I hadn't felt in years. It reminded me of the wide-eyed kid I used to be, full of wonder and questions. After years of dull, routine work life, I decided to join him. The original post had already been deleted, but Matt had archived it earlier, so the coordinates were still intact. It was titled FT-31. We started calling it FT for short. It just sounded, government classified, you know? So we followed the coordinates. Sure enough, deep in the woods, under a rocky ridge, we found a narrow opening, hidden in the shadows between the trees. There were no trails, no signs of people, just untouched forest halfway up a mountain. From far away, it didn't look like much. But as we got closer, we could see that the gap led deep inside. The rocks were layered perfectly, so unless you looked closely, it just looked like dark shadows. We checked the entrance and then went back to the car to grab our gear. Helmets, knee pads, spare flashlights, batteries, basic stuff. Matt went in first, and I followed right behind him. At first, we could move fairly comfortably, just slightly hunched. But as we went deeper, the ceiling lowered, and soon we were crawling on the ground. The air changed strangely as we went in. I felt a pressure in my ears and swallowed hard. But it didn't go away. Matt called out from ahead.
There are sections like this. The pressure changes. Happens often in deep caves.
I thought, here we go again, acting like an expert, but I kept swallowing and followed along. As we crawled, I noticed something scattered on the floor. It was animal fur and dried bones. Some were old, some looked more recent. Had something come in and not made it out? I just shrugged it off. We crawled for a while longer, when suddenly the noise I heard wasn't from Matt. It sounded like metal scraping against stone. "What did you do?" I asked, but Matt shook his head. I didn't do anything. That's when I felt a chill. "Let's turn back," I said, but Matt hesitated.
Let's go a little further. I think there's something ahead.
For a second, I even thought, maybe he was the one who wrote that hiking forum post and deleted it. If so, not funny. But I couldn't resist. I was curious too, so I followed him. The tunnel grew narrower, and soon we were practically flat on the ground. After crawling another 15 feet, we heard it again, metal scraping. This time, it sounded like it was dragging along the stone. For a moment, I felt something in the air. It was hard to tell if it was the sound of breathing or just a draft. "Matt, we should go back," I whispered. I still thought it was just a small animal, and I didn't want to run into one while crawling. Matt stopped for a moment, and then I saw it in his eyes. He wasn't ready to leave. He wanted to see more. That's when the sound came closer. It could have been the tunnel amplifying it, but it felt like it was only 30 feet away. Matt shined his flashlight deeper, and the air grew thick with tension. The light cut through the darkness, and I saw something moving in the shadows. At first, I thought I was seeing things, but when I looked again, I knew it was real. Along the cave walls, a shadow-like shape was moving toward us. but it wasn't an animal. And it wasn't anything I'd ever seen before. It seemed to crawl along the floor and the walls at once, its outline not clear at all. Even now, writing this, it gives me chills. It was like a hazy, wet hand glowing underwater, slithering and shimmering. "Did you see that?" I whispered. Matt nodded slowly. Then came the breathing. It was close, too close. A wet, sticky sound, like air being sucked in. It wasn't a regular breath. We both froze. The shadow passed right above us, then vanished into the tunnel. It wasn't just above us. It seemed to fill the whole space. The light couldn't even catch it. It was like it swallowed the beam. I felt a chill run down my spine. It's something I can't explain. It was terrifying. But there was something even worse. I couldn't handle it anymore. I shouted for Matt to stop, but he didn't hear me. He just kept crawling forward, like he couldn't hear anything at all, completely numb to my voice. I begged him, but nothing seemed to reach him. I lunged forward with effort, barely managing to grab his ankle, tugging him back just before he could vanish into the dark. He turned around slowly, confusion written all over his face. His eyes were unfocused, like he was waking from a dream. I shouted at him, "What are you doing? We need to get out of here." He just blinked, dazed. Then he added more urgently, "You're the real Evan, right?" He glanced back and forth, between the darkness ahead and me, before finally turning his body and beginning to crawl back toward the cave entrance. We moved as fast as we could, but the noise was behind us. It got closer, like something was chasing us. It was the sound of metal scraping again, and it felt like it was breathing down our necks. Just as we reached the entrance, I saw a dim light. I ran like my life depended on it, and Matt followed, still silent. Once we were out, we stopped, keeping a safe distance from the entrance. I felt like I was going to collapse from exhaustion, but I had to stay standing. If I sat down, the sound would catch up to us. A branch fell in the wind, and we both jumped. We held our breath, and like a signal, we started running toward the car. Our hearts were pounding, and we didn't speak a word. We just needed to get away from that place. We drove, not saying a word, until we finally left the road behind. It wasn't until much later that we talked about it. I asked Matt, "Why did you keep going in there? I was begging you to leave." His answer, it was so terrifying I tried to forget it. Matt said, "A strange, rotten smell filled the air, and something shadowy suddenly wrapped around me. Then I saw you. Your face looked bright and peaceful, almost like you were relieved. You were waving me in, calmly, like the cave was wide open and safe. Before I even realized it, I found myself crawling toward you, as if I had no choice. Then something grabbed my ankle from behind. I looked back, and there you were. Your face was completely different, panicked, soaked in sweat, or maybe tears, I couldn't tell. That's when I froze. If you were behind me, then who was the one ahead? That's why I asked, "You're the real Evan, right?" That's when I broke down. Hearing that, it shattered me. I couldn't take it. My mind spun with images of that thing luring him in with my face, my voice. I felt like reality had splintered. And for days, I couldn't sleep. I just stayed hidden, trying to forget what he told me. Now it's been so long, and I thought it might be interesting to write it down. But I think no one knows about that cave anymore. I can't explain what we saw, and I still wonder. Maybe someone else went there and got out. Or maybe someone didn't. But I bet everyone, like me, like Matt, just tries to forget it. I just hope no one ever goes back. Because whatever was in there, it's older and darker than we can imagine. And the darkness, should just stay where it is.